should just
Yay.
play an episode of our podcast. I'm just kidding. Woo! Hi, welcome to Blood Talk Small Talk, where we aim to provide a deeper understanding of the teamwork it takes to ensure quality care in a healthcare setting. Tune in for a mix of serious science and casual conversation, and you might be surprised to learn just how much goes on behind the scenes. I'm your host, Mars.
And I'm your host, Peach.
On today's episode, we're going over a topic that we've kind of thought would be a little bit interesting. So based on viewer statistics and questions we've had in the comments, there are a lot of international viewers who are wondering about the process of entering our profession. We actually have a lot of coworkers who studied in the Philippines, and I've always been curious about the differences between schooling in the US versus over there. So today we invited one of our coworkers and friends who completed their schooling in the Philippines. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Mark. Oh, where I work? I thought I'm not supposed to say.
No, not
Oh,
where
no,
you
no, no.
work. Where did you
Okay.
go to school?
Oh, I went to University of Perpetual Help in the Philippines. I moved here in 2003.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to school or when you went to school over there, did you already have in mind that after the school you're gonna come over here?
No, I was planning to use the CLS program as my pre-med. I was planning to be a doctor.
So you're
So,
one of those.
yeah. Well, it is a good pre-med. I think if you're looking at pre-med, it's one of the better
True.
ones because you get exposed to micro, para, which is
Mhm.
harder for the med students. Yeah.
And I
And you have a lot of
agree
chemistries.
because you actually know. Well, I guess when you are looking at the lab test, you actually know what those numbers mean and where those come from, right?
So my
Yeah.
question is though, here, right, in the US, the way that it works is the CLS training program is a 1 year post-bac, and you have to have your BS in biochemistry or related. Over in the Philippines, for CLS, is it a 4 year degree, or what is the process of becoming a CLS in the Philippines?
So it is a 4-year degree. When I was taking it, it's BS Medical Technology. I think they changed it now to lab. I forgot what they called it. It's medical laboratory scientist, like MLS. It's kind of like in line with what we do here, but it is like a BS degree. So you, it's 4 years, and your fourth year is already your hospital rotation. So I
Oh.
think it's an easier path because it's all rolled into it. And I'm comparing it with my sister who took some subjects here initially. Uh, and she actually ended up going back to the Philippines to finish her CLS program
Oh, so your
because she,
sister also CLS?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So she was taking classes here, and she was silly. I was asking her to do Dominguez Seals when she first graduated from high school. She didn't want to because it was too far. So she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go somewhere close by." And then she was doing that, but she couldn't get all the subjects that she needed. And finally, she got frustrated, and she was like, maybe I'll just go back to Philippines and study there. So that's what she did. Yeah. So she completed her program in the Philippines. Uh, the only downside for her was she still needed to take 4 years, even though she took a lot of APs for high school and she took already some subjects. Yeah.
Oh, so they require her to start over.
Not that they're required to start over, it's just because of the prereqs, there's a lot of prereqs. So even though you technically could get that credited, it's gonna take 4 years. It's not gonna make it shorter. So if you want to do it, maybe straight from high school would be better if that's really what you want to do. But I think it's still faster because you don't have to worry about getting. You know how here you have to enroll each subject that you want to take. Over there, it's like a block section. So when you after your entrance exam, you get enrolled to a block section, and most of the time you can even stay in that same block for like 2 straight years. And
Hmm.
all the subjects are being lumped in together, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, I need to take biochem or general chemistry first. So all the subjects for your first semester and second semester are all planned out. Yeah, you just show up.
That's kind
Hmm.
of convenient. So they already have it pretty much scheduled for you. You just show up for the classes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're like a BS medtech,
Mm-hmm.
all the subjects are prepared for you. So in your first year, these are the subjects that you need to complete. Your second year, here are all the subjects you need to complete, and then yeah, so you get
So
done faster.
it's not like, oh, you have to wait where your class is filled up. You're on a wait list.
It's
It's like
available. Correct. Yeah.
Right. I
for.
think
Nothing like that.
Mm.
because for us, even though like we have a roadmap, we still have some electives, right? For like our undergraduate. Did you guys have the same or no? It's like this is your set course and this is everything that you take.
Well, there's really no electives, but there are subjects that I don't think you would
Mm,
really need. You have like
nah.
a lot of Filipino classes that nobody needs Filipino classes. Sorry, you're Filipino. In the Philippines, most of the
Mhm.
students are Filipino, so they don't need to take some Filipino subjects. And I think foreign grads don't even need to take the Filipino subjects.
Oh, you mean like the language
Oh.
itself?
Oh yeah, there's a subject for
Oh.
Filipino, which is nobody uses honestly.
That's why I got thrown off because you said Filipino instead of Tagalog. Okay, anyways.
Oh
It's
yeah.
okay.
Well, I say Filipino for Tagalog because that's the national language.
Now it's known as Filipino.
Yes.
Oh, I'm out of touch. Oops. But mm,
But is there like anything extra for, I guess, US citizen or US student that they have to do to go into program in the Philippines?
Uh, you just have to pay more. There's
oh.
no visa to go there, and
Mhm.
honestly, they're more lax when it comes to that. I had classmates, Taiwanese classmates, when I was in college, well, university, uh, and yeah, all they need to do is pay extra. So there's a like foreign like
Foreign
tuition fee,
tuition
yeah, for
fee?
foreign student tuition fee. It's
Yeah.
a little higher, but it's not that much.
I imagine it's still gonna be cheaper than spending your 4 years tuition here in the US plus one additional year during a training year. Plus, you may not even finish your undergrad in 4 years because, like, classes are not available. So, if that is your set goal, maybe this is a good option for you to take a look for, whoever that's interested in. And then, sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Oh, I think uh, it's good because yeah, there's not a lot of extra things. The only thing is, of course, and I think it's cheaper. I think it's even cheaper than community college, studying in the Philippines. But of course, since you're going to be there on your own, you have to add the cost for like your
Housing.
dorm, which is like in a studio type apartment, and food and all that. But I think cost of living is, since it's cheap, it's still going to be a lot reasonable than uh, studying here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, I had another friend who went to study in Philippines. She actually were, born and raised here. Went to Philippines. I asked her like why. She said cheaper. That's
Yeah.
the only reason she's like went over there. Um, yeah. So I think if cost is your concern and you really want to be a CLS, this may be a way for you to look into it. And also, Mark, after the school, like after the program, uh, is there like additional things that you have to do for you to be able to work here or find a job here as a CLS?
So the good thing is the curriculum is the same as the one here. There are no additional subjects, and actually, for a Filipino graduate, there is an that you can take the ASCPi even when you're in the Philippines. So I know a lot of
Oh.
people, like graduates in the Philippines, they take the ASCPi, and then they could apply for a job here. Like Quest hires Filipinos straight from the Philippines. They
Mm.
take the ASCPI, and then of course you just convert that to like a California license, and then yeah, you can work here.
Is
Ooh.
there a different board exam in the Philippines that you would take to get your license, or does it just everybody, no matter what, always takes the ASCPi?
You mean to work
In
here?
Philippine? No,
Oh,
Yeah,
like
to
in
work in
Philippines.
here.
Philippines, it's not the ASCPI. The ASCPI is if you want to work here, but
Mhm.
there's like a Filipino board exam.
Like,
Well, it probably it's not called Filipino board exam, but there's
But
a
there
board
is
exam in the
an
Philippines.
equivalent, uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, that you
so,
have to take if you want to work there.
uh,
Did you work in the Philippines as a CLS for any amount of time?
Not well. I work in the lab a little
Mhm.
bit because it's my mom's lab.
Mm.
That was her business. So I was
Ah.
working on the down low.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
On summers, I would work there. And I wasn't really running stuff. I was more clerical. Yeah, but not as a
mm,
CLS.
so
No.
like lab assistants slash
Yes. Yeah.
clericals kind of thing. Well,
Well,
then that means you maybe tell us a little bit like how the lab, I guess, in Philippines and over here,
yeah.
I like
like
your cat.
how like
I like it how your cat is bugging you. Sorry.
she's like to be
She
in
wants
the
to be part of
know.
the podcast.
Yes.
She really
Yes.
does. And now she's moving my mouse. Okay. Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about the lab versus here? The lab in the Philippines versus here in the
Mhm.
US?
So it might have changed a lot because
Mhm.
I graduated in 99. So I did my hospital rotation 98 to 99. So my experience was it was very old school. We had a lot of manual method. Uh, our batch actually was the last one to use glass syringes to
Mm.
draw. Yeah. And we didn't have phlebotomists. There was no lab assistant. It was all the CLSs were doing everything. So when I was doing my rotation, we were using glass syringes. We would autoclave, wash them, autoclave them. So we would do all that, all the dirty work. And we were the last batch. I think midway through my rotation, we switched to like regular syringes, not even vacutainers. Yeah. Although there were already vacutainers there, sometimes we would bring our own because it was easier to draw using Vacutainer. So we would bring our own out of pocket, but the hospital itself, they won't provide that. There were no gloves.
No
Yeah.
gloves?
No face shields, no mask. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
it was old school. We were doing mouth pipette for the WBC count.
Did you ever
Uh,
have any accidents with that?
Not me. I have classmates who had. Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Um,
It was different.
Dangerous
Uh,
work.
I know.
I'm shocked.
Now it has changed. I know, like when I was talking to uh, people I went to college with, I asked them, so how is the hospital there now? They said that they have like similar, not the lines, the similar instrumentation. So they have the
Mhm.
Roche, Abbott, Beckman's. So they have that already, but I just don't know how it is. I don't think it's as complex as the lines that we see here. Maybe
And then
some of them, but not everything. Yeah.
I'm assuming this is also just in the bigger hospitals in the Philippines, probably.
Yes. So the bigger hospital, St. Luke's probably, Fatty Med, Asian, because those are the bigger, nicer hospitals. So that probably has the best equipment, but of course the smaller hospitals won't have that. And I rotate in a government hospital too. That's the other reason
Mm.
why it's a little dated what we were doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Shocking, but still though, I mean, it's understandable, right? I mean, the US at that time, we also did have glass equipment and glove was not a thing before as well. And there was also mouth pipette here. So
Yeah.
it's not that like, I guess so much different, but hearing it from, I guess, somebody who had used it, I'm still shocked. I'm like, I don't know how you still survive like, you know? It's just like, wow, really?
Our job was definitely a lot harder back in the day. I think Elena also likes to tell us all the time, you guys don't know what it was like. You're complaining now, but back then we used to have to do everything by hand and chart everything by paper and run the results up to the doctors. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That does sound
Yeah, I
very
think I have
painful.
one of the older tech, one of the person that I work with, well, this was 10 years ago. He was 90 years old. He was like one of the veteran in the lab. He basically just volunteer now because he didn't have anybody left in his family. So basically he just volunteered to come. And then when it's not busy, I like to talk to him, just asking like, how things were back then. And then he said, yeah, I used to be more important back then. I was like, okay. Because everything, it has to be done by hand. And not only that, so if there's have any like emergency, like, how in blood bank, for example, there's a trauma, you have to do, all the type, everything was done by hand, but also all the tacking on the unit
Mm.
has to handwrite each unit and then run that to the OR or to the ED.
Actually, how did they used to store blood products back then?
Same thing. They have
Yeah,
a
Oh, okay.
refrigerator.
yeah.
No, but like in the container wise, it's
Oh, the blood bags.
yeah.
Yeah, we had blood bags.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that was basic. That's and yeah,
And
and then you have segments. The only thing we didn't have is if you want pack red cells, you have to uh, manually push out your
mhm.
plasma.
Yeah, we
Mm.
about
Yeah,
to say that. Like yeah, and then discard the
discard it.
plasma.
Correct.
So like back then it was the back is bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of
Mm.
that. So same thing. So see, like it's kind of the same thing, back then over there compared to here. But I'm sure now like the lab has developed a lot more. So and actually I think I would like it too if I get to intern in one of those lab who's keep the manual method just for knowledge why, right?
I
Like I
just
think
keep
it's
thinking back
be
to
interesting.
undergrad when they make us play with the spectrophotometer. I'm sure it was a lot of that, huh?
Oh yeah. I've been to like a smaller like lab that used that. So it's a manual method. You would put your blank and then put your sample, your serum with the chemical, and then you'll read it, and then you'll calculate manually the result. Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like for like a whole chemistry panel. Like like doing a whole chem panel manually?
Yeah. Imagine doing that 50 times in a day.
Or like a stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how do you do stat when you literally have two hands?
And then you have
Well,
to
I think it's not just the two hands; it's the samples in line for you to analyze. So, it, because if you have stuff from ED and you have like 5 patients, those
Mm-hmm.
have those 5 have to wait while you're manually processing each panel. Yeah, that's why it takes longer.
Yeah.
wow.
So we have to appreciate technology and
Technology.
our predecessor. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's thank you for sharing that with us. That's eye opening. I think it's nice to I guess it's give appreciation to what we have now. I
Yeah.
think our job is a lot easier now
Oh yeah, definitely.
compared to then.
Yeah.
And well, going back like to school, is there like a scholarship or financial aids for student of, I guess more specifically for a foreign student to go to school in the Philippines for CLS program?
For foreign students, I don't think so. I think they assume that if you're willing to go to a different country to study, that you can afford it. So I don't think they'll have a financial aid or any scholarship.
Mm.
I think reserved more for the
Local?
locals, and even with the locals, it's very limited.
Mm.
Yeah, uh, I didn't know a lot that had scholarship, and it's mostly those public universities, the bigger ones, like UP. Yeah, that would have them.
Is
Hmm.
there a lot of school that have a CLS program?
Oh yeah, uh, FEU, USD are the bigger ones. UP I think has one, but they call it something else, and I cannot remember what it was. Uh, CEU. I know we had a lot of CEU. Holy Spirit. It went to perpetual, and we also have one. La Salle doesn't have one, and I don't think Ateneo has one. And of course, there's areas south to the Philippines, like Cebu, Davao, that are bigger universities also that has a program. Yeah,
Hmm.
and Cebu actually is for the, and I'm saying that for the board exam for the Philippines, they have like the highest passing rate. The one in
Hmm.
Cebu. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, so the viewers, if you are interested, take notes. We'll try to link, link to those hospitals down below. If you are interested, you can go check that out as well. So, I think you mentioned like that some of the U.S. company would hire students who pass the ASCPi even before they come to the US? Do they have like a job fair, or like how do you look for job opportunities, or you just have to come here first and
No,
search?
it's even before you come here.
Hmm.
There is like you know how our registry works. There is a company there that looks for Filipino graduates who are interested,
Mm.
and then you just apply there. So
So
uh,
they help place you to different
to different,
And
hospitals.
yeah.
then they also help you with the process of getting a work visa, right?
Yes, yes, yes. All of that
Mm.
they will take care of it. So it's very. I think it helps a lot of those Filipinos because the pay in the Philippines is not that much. So I think a lot of them want to move anywhere they can. They
So would
work in the
you
Middle East,
say
and
a lot of the people who go to school in the Philippines for medical technology, would you say like their goal is basically to do it so that they can get a visa and move elsewhere?
uh, I think majority of them, not majority. I know a lot
Like
of
a good
people who
chunk.
wanted to use the CLS program as their pre med.
Mm.
So that's, I think a lot of people I know did that.
Mhm.
Uh, of course, there are some that wanted to move away, and some that just want to stay. It's just they don't pay that much. I know like CLS graduates who prefer to go to call centers because that became big in the Philippines,
Hmm.
and they pay more money. So instead of being in the as working as a CLS, they work in a call center because the pay is better.
Really? To be a
Yeah.
telemarketer is
Oh
paid
yeah.
more than a CLS over
Yeah.
there? Interesting. But like uh I'm saying like I'm find it interesting that like a telemarketer is getting paid more than a CLS is. Is this like back then, or are you saying that right now?
I think even right now, I have to double check that, but like well back then
Like
when I graduated, there wasn't really a lot of telemarketer jobs, and then I think it's I don't know if it's around 2005 2010. Uh, it used to be India, and then it started
yeah.
getting big in the Philippines. If you
Mm.
call, actually, a lot of people you talk to now are Filipinos. If you call here, like Macy's, I've called Macy's, and even like I don't know if it's AT&T or T-Mobile. Oh, T-Mobile for sure. I would call T-Mobile, and I would talk to a Filipino off hours.
I think I got one time when I called Spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, Spectrum too.
Wow.
Yes. So it has gotten big there, and it's not specific to telemarketers. It's more like support for like phone support and all that, and so that's why it became a big business, and even IT related stuff it has gotten big.
Hmm, I see.
Hmm.
So would CLS consider a well pay respectable jobs over there, or like an average?
I think it's just average. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, not like here. Uh, Definitely, if you work in a different country, I know a lot of people went to the Middle East or
Uh-huh.
even parts of Asia. I know like Singapore, they're hiring.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know if Taiwan, because all over Asia, like they would hire uh, Filipino graduates. It's just because we have a lot of them, and I think they're good. Yeah,
Yeah, they're good because look at you.
no. I am the exception. I'm the only one that's horrible.
No, you're wonderful. So, can you explain what it's like to take the SCPI? Like, cause I think, if you hear from I guess last episode, we have our guest Natalie talking about preparing for ASCP. Like I don't know if you can take us back to how
So,
you prepare for your ASCPi.
so I actually don't have an ASCP. I have a California license. I am old school.
Oh.
When I took the exam here in '05,
Mm.
uh, it was pen and paper, and it was only once a year. California didn't accept ASCP at that time, so you have to take the California exam in order to be a CLS here.
Wait,
So,
so then you were talking earlier you have to do the
oh,
ASCP.
now that is now
Uh,
for since California started the ASCP. Philip in the Philippines, they started offering the ASCPi, but at my during my
Mm.
time, there was no ASCP. It was just a California
well,
license.
this is interesting. I actually want to hear more about how the California license exam was. Because I
Yeah.
think they just got rid of it around the first time that our schools, like, I think the first year or so of our school's program, they still took the California license exam. But I'm not sure, like, somewhere in between then and then my year is when they switched to, like, ASCP. I
Yeah,
think Steve talked about it a little bit in his episode too. But yeah, what was the
yeah, it was
California
nerve
license
wracking because
exam?
you're taking an exam in like convention center, Carson. It's down in Carson. There's
Oh,
only everybody
sorry.
here. Oh,
Like you have to take it in the US or you took
oh yeah,
this
you have
one
to take it
before?
in. You have the one that I took. It was only once a year in Carson. I don't know if there's any other parts in the in California that you can take the exam, but the only one I know is close by was Carson. So everybody in Southern California I knew went to Carson to take the exam, and it's only once a year. I want to say November.
So
You
that's
take
why sorry,
okay,
everyone's licenses is their birthday, huh?
yeah, and then you take the
Ah.
exam, and then after a month you'll get your results. So it took forever.
So you don't know that whole month? You're like,
Oh yeah, no, you're waiting for an envelope, and if it's a bigger envelope, they say you failed because I think you have an like a packet to
reapply?
reapply, and if it's a smaller envelope, you passed.
So
It
you
is,
know before you open.
yeah, that's what they
Wait,
said.
so how I now I have more questions.
Yeah.
So like how like would people okay, like in your group, so if they want to work here, they would have to come here, take the exam,
Oh yeah,
go back there and wait and then look
Or
for a job and then come back here again?
you just have to move here and hope that you pass?
Like were
yeah,
you like
you have to move here first, I think, and then take the exam. I don't think it's
Oh.
an option for you to take the exam and then move here. Yeah, you have to move here first.
I wonder how nursing is now
Wow.
also, because I do recall, like, some of my, family members as well, older ones, that they had to move here first before they could come back here for nursing. But I wonder, does nursing in the Philippines offer the same kind of thing as, CLS does, where you could take, like, your exam internationally before coming over?
Before I thought that you could. Things with nursing have changed a lot
Mm.
because the quality of the students in the especially in the Philippines has gone down uh, because it was there was like a big need for nurses here. So there was all of a sudden like small colleges sprouting that like, oh, you can take the exam easily. Oh,
Ah.
can you hear me now?
Oh,
It's me, right?
it's Mars.
Oh, sorry.
I need to eat my mic is basically it. Or I
Yes.
talk too quiet when I'm comfortable. But that's interesting to hear. Okay. Yeah, cuz I think for a while everybody really was going into nursing from the Philippines cuz it was a good thing, like healthcare popping off. But now um CLS seems to be the big thing now, huh?
Yeah,
As their way to come over.
I've heard even for nursing, you have to take some subjects when you get here. It's not like
Oh.
before that, they offer everything to Philippines and you're done.
Mm.
There are some that you need to take here before you take the exam.
I
Yeah,
see.
is it NCLEX? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, but I want to hear a little bit more about the California license exam more. So, how long, like, what was the format of the test? How long was it? Do you know what your score? Do you get your score afterwards, or do you just get a pass or fail? Like,
Oh no, they tell you your score.
mhm.
It's 120 to pass. I don't know. I don't even remember how many items the exam was. Uh, it's early in the morning. I want to say like 7 in the morning when you start the exam.
I don't think my brain is function at the time.
Oh, my brain wasn't working. I stayed up late. That's another story. I stayed until I stayed up until like I don't know, like 4 or 5 in the morning before the exam.
Studying?
No, no, playing video games.
Hasn't changed.
Yes,
Well, and you still pass, so
barely.
very.
I barely passed.
Hey, it's all the same. After you pass,
It's like the
you got a
ASCP, right?
100%, or you just get
Yeah.
that passing. It's all CLSs, so that's all you need.
Oh yeah. As long as you get your license, you're done.
Yeah.
But how well do you think that the program in the Philippines prepared you for CLS work here
Mm.
in the United States?
Uh, I think hopefully things have changed now because, like I said, there's a lot of manual things that we no longer do here. It's good to know, but I think you are behind because you have to adjust with the technology. So, but from what I'm hearing, it has advanced also. So hopefully that the things that I'm concerned about are no longer a concern. Uh,
Mm.
so I think, given that, I think it's good because you get to do all aspects of the lab. You're not just like dealing with your instrumentation or diffing. You're really uh, drawing. You're taking care of the sample, and I think that's one thing that's not going to change the Philippines since labor is cheap. Uh, that's why they're always going to use the CLSs to do all that work versus here. Uh, you want your CLSs to focus on releasing and cranking out your result versus having them draw and process samples.
So, is there a phlebotomy over there?
The CLSs are the phlebotomist, but
Oh,
there's no like just a title phlebotomist. Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Would you say
Hmm.
that all of these foundations of doing it the old school way have made you a better CLS than us newbies?
I'm not gonna say it's better because
Or
I
better
think
foundations?
it's good. I think it's good to appreciate it. So really if somebody is not drawing properly, it could affect the results that you're getting. So you have like kind of see that as a possibility, or if you're not selecting a proper draw site, if you're drawing from the IV line. So you're more aware of what could happen, and you see other people you work with when they're drawing, like, oh, you know what, why are they drawing there? So you kind of see like possible issues even before samples get to the lab. So that part, I think you're more exposed to it, but I think you guys already know that too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's
But
something new.
what about like the manual testing process? Do you think that helps in any way? Or it's just like, oh, this is how it's done. But now we have this. Like, does it add any extra
Like values.
perspective or values to actually like interpreting results or troubleshooting?
Uh, I think not really.
Okay, I'm kind of asking this because I'm like, if there are anybody who wants to go to school over there, that the way they can like, do I want to go to like one of the bigger universities, or am I okay with going to one of the smaller ones that probably still does manual
Like
testing?
manual stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Actually,
it's
for
actually
me,
you. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say that your rotation is not with the university you
Mm-hmm.
went to school at. You actually
Ah.
rotate at different hospitals. So there are, yeah,
Oh.
each university talks to different hospitals, and then you can rotate in those different hospitals. So there's like a There at that my on when I was still doing my training, there was only one hospital that offers 1 year rotation, East Avenue. But the rest are like 6 months, and there's a
Mm.
couple that's 3 months, 3 months. So you take either 2 6 months or 1 6 month in those 3 month classes. I mean rotation. The 3 months were uh, what do you call that? I'm blanking out. Red Cross,
Mm.
and there's like a Villamore Air Base. So for the Air Force, you're yeah the Air Force Hospital. So you're rotating there 6 months,
I think
and
that's
then
actually nice.
I
Yeah.
it's actually it's good because you get
More exposure. See how other labs do it too.
yeah you get it to experience and then most of them are government hospitals. So
Mm.
I went to Philippine Orthopedic Center, uh, and there's like East Avenue, JR. Those are the like bigger hospitals. Pavelia, which is like a OB/GYN hospital. Yeah.
Hmm.
That interesting. So like it's different because over here, at least from the program that I went to, we just have like I guess all 1 year rotations at a hospital. So like if you get placed to this hospital A, you're there for a year. But this is a good I think it's good to see other facilities, see how they're doing their equipment, their procedures, policy. I think I would like that too. But
There is one site that's part of our program, at least during my year, where they had two sister hospitals. So half the year they were at one, and then the other half they were at the other. And then Haas hospitals also, I think the students rotate between two as well that are
mm,
sister hospitals. But
oh, that's good.
I don't
That's
know
good.
what benefit, like why theirs are particularly like that. Like theirs specifically. I'm wondering if it's because they don't actually have all of the
Like
analyzers,
departments.
yeah, at the one site, so it's split into two. At least for my
Possible.
classmate, I think it was like that, but I'm not sure about Haas.
But
Oh,
like oh, yes, Mark.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say one good thing I thought of that's good with studying there in the Philippines is your 4th year, since it's a hospital rotation, included what you need to do. Uh, they would uh, offer you those hospitals that you can be assigned to. So you're going to actually pick the hospitals you want to rotate in. So you're not, scrambling after you finish that.
Oh,
Oh, is there a hospital that could take me? They, you're like, oh, I don't want to work there. I want to just take this, or this is closer to me.
so are you guaranteed a place?
Oh yeah. So
Ah,
you have a slot. You're actually the one choosing where you want to rotate.
Well, that's nice.
So I
Yeah,
think that's easier. I'm just it's comparing that because I know it's so hard to get
it's
placed here,
competitive
mhm,
and
here.
that's a big plus there.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
And well, what about languages? Like, is it would be difficult for people here in the US to go to school over there and, do the rotation over there when, if they're not speaking Tagalog or any dialect in Philippines?
so the Philippines actually like most of your important classes, except for Filipino, is in English. So it's easy for you to adjust. Well,
Mm.
the teachers probably will be scared talking to you, which is another plus.
Is
So they
it
don't ask you
though?
any questions during
But then
class.
If you ask them, I'm like, I'll just pass you. Don't ask me anymore. I don't want to answer that in English. No, but they do know how to speak English. I think Filipinos are just worried because we have an accent, so that's more of the fear is we would our accent will show or we would mispronounce things because English is not our first language, which is I think acceptable. Like all the other countries don't care about it, but
Yeah.
Filipinos it's a big thing, and
no,
Filipinos are
Koreans
harder on
too.
Filipinos.
Oh, yes. But
Oh yeah,
Koreans also they're very good at English. Like they have the curriculum up until believe middle school. But even though they can speak it well, they're shy because of their accent also. So
yeah.
like when I was there visiting, you always go for the college students. Those are the ones that you ask questions to because even though they're shy of speaking it, they will understand you well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you just hand them your phone and say, "Can you please type it?" It's fine. But yeah, I don't know
And then
why
they just run away.
And then they run away. But you're right, they run away. But, that's kind of funny. See, yeah, I think I do recall hearing from my parents as well that all of their classes were in English, even back then.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
but you guys also have, like, English and diction classes, right? So that should help you speak more proficiently,
there
but still
is,
shy.
but since you don't use it that much, when you're on conversation, you're using Tagalog. When you're in
Mhm.
school, you speak in English, but like when you're talking at home, you're talking to your friends. Most of them are in Filipino Tagalog. So yeah, of course you're not as comfortable. I
Mm.
think when I first moved here, I used and when they ask you something, you kind of like pause and think about it because I felt like when I first started, I am translating the English words into Tagalog, and then I'll translate it in English before I respond. So my
Mm.
brain was kind of like doing that translation. So it's not as easy for you to respond. You have to think about it.
So for both of you, this is both of you, as English second language, what do you actually think in first, primarily now? What language does your brain think in? Or is it a mix?
If I get asked an English question, I think I respond in English now. Well, I think in English now, but
Mm.
of course, like, and it takes years of adjusting your brain, and you learn to adjust. You learn to adapt. Yeah.
Mhm. So, same thing for me. I think if somebody talking to me in English, I would think in English. If somebody talking to me in Thai, then I would talk to them in Thai. So I would think in Thai. However, I'm not using Thai as my primary language. So there are times that I would translate that to English and then English back to Thai before I actually answer them. Like sometimes I'm not familiar with the word they use or like how to answer. Like sometimes, okay, like I do volunteers, right, and then some of them that I volunteer to help, they only speak Thai, and then they ask me some like health related questions, and I don't know any of it in Thai language because I went to school here. So everything I learned, all the word I learned are in English. So then I have to like really like sometimes I even have to look it up. What do you say or how do you say that in Thai? But it like Mark said, it takes years of adjusting. Because I remember when I first came here, I really have no idea when somebody asked me for my name, like what's your name? I couldn't answer. I really don't know what it is. Like I can't answer my name. And then I think I start learning it Blue Clue.
It's fun.
Laura the Explorer. So those are like my yeah, I just learned it like that, and then I find it. I think my uncle was telling me, uh, just turn around. Like when you look at, let's see, like a rice cooker. If you turn around, you see a rice cooker, and you think rice cooker in Thai. Turn your head back again and turn it again until English word pop out. That would be like the first thing come to your mind. So like when you
Ooh.
look at like a water bottle. Like if you're thinking that in Thai words, then like open your eyes again. So like to really associate so that your brain either switch fast or automatically think of it in English. So I've been doing that for years. So that how I kind of learn, and that's why I think when people ask me in English, I would think and process the question in English. But of course, there are times that it would be mixing between the two. Because like
Hmm.
maybe like if they ask me like let's say like what's your experience, and then that if that experience was happening when I was in Thailand or like like in the that Thai community, then I think of it in Thai before I translate in English. So I think it's
Oh,
really depend.
Because you
that's
associate that more with the Thai, like
Yeah.
yeah, situation.
So I think we're like the
interesting.
same.
Yeah,
Mm. I will never know. Interesting.
Maybe you have to learn another language, then
Languages
you
are
know.
hard. Languages are hard. It's fine.
yes.
We got derailed. Do we have
Yeah.
any more questions about school in the Philippines?
Well, I mean, I do have a lot more question. It's really
Okay.
interesting. It's like what was the most challenging, like, the school over there? for you, and like how do you overcome it? Even like either during the training year itself or like during the didactic class, I guess.
Well, the challenging part is studying, and I didn't like to study. uh, yeah. Well, no, that I think with hospital rotation there, the I didn't like the night duties because we have night
Night duty?
you rotate, yeah, you rotate and you do the morning picks. So the morning draws, we used to do it, uh, and maybe sleeping on a chair on a desk is difficult because they want me to get some sleep so that I can do the morning picks because a lot of the especially in orthopedic center there's a lot of like wards that nobody want to go to because it stinks because we have like long term people with spinal injury so they cannot move and so they have a lot of bed sores, so
Mm,
while they're cleaning out the bed sores you're there drawing, so nobody usually, yeah, my other co-interns didn't want to go there.
I
You
see.
guys
So
have
then
to do 24-hour shifts? Because I think I heard that as well.
Holidays, yeah, during holidays it's
mm,
a skeleton shift and you do 24 hours, yeah.
do they usually use student for that?
uh Well, where I rotated, yeah, we were the ones that. Well, you also have a staff, like the employees are, and they're actually just supervising, make sure that you don't mess up too much, and most of the time they're just chilling. Yeah,
Mm.
they have like their room that they're chilling in, and if there's an issue, we'd call them, and they get mad when you call them. Like, why are you waking me up? I was having a good dream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have a like memorable experience that you like to share?
Uh. Oh, it's a little disgusting. It was when we were rotating. We have a classmate. They always tell you when you're opening a vial of poop, you open it away from you,
Always.
and we found out why you have to open it away from you because it builds up gas, so it pops sometimes when you open. So they opened it towards their face and no mask. Remember, and it was facing their hair, and there
Is it
was
in a hood at least?
no
Did
no
you?
hoods. Yeah, I think the only one that has a hood was micro, and yeah. So
Oh, so this wasn't in micro?
no, the power was in a different. It's not micro.
Oh, this is for parasitology. Oh,
Yeah,
as long as it wasn't C. diff, it's okay.
it, I don't know if I don't even remember if there's anything there, but just the
Wait, is
fact that they
this
have.
was this you?
Oh no no no
Mark?
no no
Oh,
no.
your
Yeah, coming.
classmate?
Yeah, I was next to her, so when it happened,
Oh,
we were all screaming, and we got the merit. Yeah.
At least it didn't get on you.
Oh yeah, no. I
Yeah, I
was I
think
was fast.
we have a.
we've had a lot of poop
I guess
stories
you
so
was
far.
a close call. I was direct exposure.
Oh, nice.
Similar, like yeah, same event. So basically, the container was left there, and then in experience, just go in, grab, twist, boom. Yeah, at
But
least
you
it
were
was in a
under the
hood
hood.
though.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
did it under a hood, so at least it was under the hood, and I did pull it down, so it was a proper. It just the fact that it did get exposed, like the bomb went off, and then I think I got not really scolded at, but like we have to get somebody here to clean it now because the hood you can't use it anymore. I think we have to get the
Oh,
actual company to come in and clean that hood.
Oh, nice.
Like the explosion was like in
I
the hood.
didn't know it was that bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If it happened in the Philippines, they would make you clean it.
Well, I mean, I did have to clean
What you
part
could.
of it because it does like I did get on it did get on me too.
Mm.
Like because like the hoods only come down to like right here because you still have the space for you to put your hand in and work. So yeah, some of it did come out, and good thing proper PPE would help. So I did have my gloves on. I had my lab coat, and my hair was tied up, so that was good. I can't imagine if I have my hair down, and I think I would have cut my hair. I was like chip, chip, like I don't care. But yeah,
Safety
uh,
shower instantly.
Yeah, and actually I always have a pair of scarf or change of clothes in my car, so that came in handy too. So
Oh,
I know
smart.
I changed, and that scrub set, I threw it away. Like I'm not even bringing it home to clean. So yeah, I guess that is something I would never forget. Also, so I guess we share a memory. So
Yeah.
I guess for the viewer, it doesn't matter. You went to school in Philippines, you went to school here. If you like us in experience, you might explode. You know,
There's
have some of
always
that
poop stories.
explosions.
Exploding poopies.
Yeah. And what was your first job like as a CLS when you actually like
Oh,
started
here?
over here?
It was actually a small doctor's office.
Hmm.
I worked as a lab assistant there while I was reviewing for the exam. And then after I finished, he asked me, like, oh, do you want to stay here? And I like him. We got along. So I just started working there. And it was so chill because we would do our QC, load our samples at night, and then after that I can go home, come back the next day, and just release results. So and they pay me for a full day, so it was an easy gig. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, and the owner he was very nice and he loved me, so I would get benefit. I would get like vacation. Nobody was getting vacation. It was unheard of for small like labs. So I was getting vacation. I had uh, medical insurance, and I think I was the only one employed that had a medical insurance. So yeah, so it was interesting.
Hmm.
And the only thing is like, of course, that's dead end. That's as much as you can grow there, and I felt like I needed to learn a lot more, so I had to leave. It was sad leaving though, because
Aw.
it felt like you're comfortable there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
How long did you stay there?
maybe 5 6 years. Because even when I was working at LabCorp, I left there and then he asked me to come back. So I was working there part time, and he was like paying me full salary even while I was working part time. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. Sorry.
So
Got a
you
911
asked.
text, but
Oh, you're good. Everything okay?
oh yeah.
Okay.
911. Can you watch the for my brother?
Oh,
Can you watch the video from Dad birthday?
nice.
Well, one of the biggest questions that I think when we choosing career is the personality. Do you think is it based on personality? Like, you were mentioning that a lot of like people in Philippines also choose like CLS as either a pre-med, a way to get into the medicines, or either choosing CLS and then wanted to go somewhere else. But do you think like the personality type also play a roles of people who choosing this as a career? Because I can see like similar personality here in our class.
Yeah, I think. Well, if I'm basing on when I was in,
Hmm.
yeah, when I went to school, most of my classmates were. I don't think it was personality wise when they selected it. The ones who stayed on and worked as a CLS are the ones that I think it's more geared toward their personality. I think like
Mm.
a lot of people they just didn't know what to do and they listened to what other people were telling them. Yeah, and it's mostly Filipinos. Filipinos tell you, your parents tell you what to take. Like you need to be a
Yeah.
nurse. Yeah, you need to be in the medical field.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see how that happens. Because I think it's the same thing. Like for us, like your parents are like, "Oh, you're gonna go to school for this, for that."
Yeah.
It's less of a, I guess, personal choice
Mine
initially.
didn't, and I still somehow ended up in the medical field.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good for
that's
me.
good.
Both my parents are not in the medical field, and they didn't push me in the medical field, and then I somehow ended up in the medical field. Even though growing up, I also said I never want to go in the medical field. So this goes back to Peach's never say never. So
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, now like looking at it, if I'm gonna advise it anybody, if they want to go in the medical field, like uh, I would tell them to take a look. And that's the other thing. I don't think there's a lot of people who here that knows what the CLS is.
Mm.
When you say you work in a lab, they tell you, "Oh, you draw blood." So
Or like, oh, you're a doctor or you're a nurse still, even though you said you.
yeah,
I
so
get made fun of a lot.
there's it's rare that people know what the CLS is. We had a meeting
Mhm.
with a doctor last week
Mhm.
who was meeting with the whole lab team, and he even asked like, "What's a CLS?"
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Right? So it's just
It's
one of
sad.
those. It's interesting. Like yeah.
That
So
was the focus of why Peach and I made our lab week video the way we did. But it is really sad. Actually, a lot of my doctors too, like personal doctors, when I go and talk to them and they're like, "Oh, so what do you do for work?" I explain to them and they're like, "Oh, so like what is your title again? Oh, so what do you do?" And I'm always like, "I'm the annoying one who calls you guys for criticals." And most of the time they laugh and one of them was like, "It's not annoying. It's just hard for us to deal with," is what he said.
yeah.
Actually, now when I have the same primary doctor for a really long time now. So now like I went there. I think last time I think she might forget like what I do for a living. She was like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And then I just opened my Blood Talks channel and be like, "This."
This
And
nice.
then she was like, "Oh, so you're a YouTuber?" I was like, "No, no." I was like, "No, that's not my intention." I think I have two more
Okay.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go
Feel
through
good?
that too. Mm.
Okay. Well, two big questions, but we'll see. Okay. Well, Mark, so how do you find CLS you know, work life balance, how it's like, your family, hobby, vacation? Do you think it's, now that you are CLS for years now, like do you think it's, suit you, your family? Do you find it's um like fulfilling?
Oh yeah. I think I love what I'm doing. Of course, there are days things are not as easy as you want it to be. Dealing with staff to me is sometimes what gets me. It's I there are plenty of times I would rather be on a bench than to talk to somebody about issues at work.
Mhm.
It's just when you're dealing with people, it's there's more. It's more complicated. Yeah. Uh, at least if you're on the bench, you just have to do your job. But as a CLS, I enjoy doing what we're doing. I think
Mm.
the work itself is good. It's nice. Uh, not that it's easy, but I think
It's
I don't
that
know.
right amount of challenging and stimulation and like
Yes,
having to use your brain. Yeah.
yes,
But not
uh, and to actually do it properly, because I know like
Mm.
you could go into like you're pushing buttons and it's like, oh, I see a flag, I'm just gonna and I think that's not really the right way to approach it. You still have to think, even though we have all these tools. So we have auto verification, we have like the middleware to help support the way we report. I think you still need to think, and I think that's the difference. There are a lot of things that you still have to analyze and make sure that you're releasing the good results and you're releasing it right away. So I love what we're what we do, and I think it's important. I think it helps our patients a lot, uh, and that's why we need to do a good job. And I think uh, the doctors are using what we're giving them in making sure that the treatment plan that they have is working, or what treatment plan they have to approach and start with the patient. So yeah.
Mm. So then I guess before we wrapped up, one last question. Do you have any advice for, our incoming students or anybody who interested in becoming a CLS, whether they're gonna go to school here in the US or, take the route going to the one in Philippines?
Uh, do it. That yeah. If they're looking into like a field to get into, I think to me CLS is one of the good ones to look at. I think the toll on the body, and I'm just comparing it like nursing or uh, physical therapy. Like with both jobs, if you're doing, there's a lot of physical toll on your body that is less for CLSs. That's why it's normal for us to have older workforce members that are in their retirement age who are still working, and that's why it's possible. And even some of them are even working two jobs because you can do it. It's not as taxing on you physically. As long as you can think, you can still do your job. Well, and you can need to see. You need to be able to have good eyesight. No, but there's a lot of tools on you that you have. So uh, and the work itself, to me, it's fulfilling. Like the work that you do, I know, like we've always feel like we're the stepchild of the hospital. That nobody appreciates the work that we do, and it feels that way. Like when it comes to
Mhm.
funding, I feel like we're always on the last of their priority. It's like
Yeah.
if pharmacy needs something, it gets taken care of right away. Nursing needs something, yeah, we have funds for that. The lab needs equipment. Like, do they really have to?
Yeah.
So
I
we have
think
to be really resourceful.
Yeah.
one of the things I've seen is like, oh, lab week, right? And then nurses week after, and it's like extravagant.
Yeah.
And then it's like, our hospital didn't give us anything for lab week. They didn't even give us free coffee for 1 day. 1 day. Last year they gave it 1 day.
We
This
had
year,
pizza. We had a slice of pizza
no,
the
but
week
like
after.
no, that's okay. But like the hospital itself didn't
Yeah.
really acknowledge lab week, and then nurses week was all out.
And I think that's normal. Not
Yeah.
just our like hospital. I think that's the complaint about all hospitals. Like when it comes, usually like labs are in the basement. When,
Mhm.
when you look at where the lab is, they're always in the basement.
Because we are invincible heroes.
Yeah.
We're not seen by the outside people because we do the work behind the scene, but it is. We are essential. Just don't forget about us.
Oh yeah. I think that we touch a lot of aspects in the healthcare because it's not just core lab. It's not just
Oh
one
yeah.
bubble. We have micro, we have blood bank, so we have point of care. So we're there in all the different sections of the hospital helping him out. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, with that, well, that's a lot. We talk about a lot of information. That was a good discussions. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us for today's sections and shine a light on, like the experience in school in Philippines, how you get over here, how you find jobs, and even tell us a little bit about your experience during your training year, which that was a very good insight and really knowledgeable. So if you are thinking about, taking or going to CLS school, you have choice either taking school here in the US that we kind of discussed in a few video now, or you can also take a look at programs from the Philippines. We can also link to some of the videos down below if you are interested. So please check that out. If there's any other questions that you feel like we have not covered and you'd like to know more, please leave that in the comment down below and we'll be sure to answer them. Thank you very much for joining us. And again, your blood tell you the story of your health. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, Mark.
Yay! Thank you.